Hi guys, welcome to the Wrestling Retrospective. I'm Leo, and in this video I'll be doing my predictions for TNA's Hard to Kill. Following out, they have the Women's Ultimate X match for a number one contendership to the Knockouts Championship. For me, I have Dani Luna to get the win in this match. I felt overall this match can be very enjoyable. There's a lot of different variants of types of wrestling with the women in the match. But for me, I was expecting Kylan King to be in this match. However, she wasn't. She would have been my pick to win this match and be the new number one contender. But for me, I'm going with Dani Luna just because, not to reveal what I'm going for later, but the match that Dani Luna and Jordynne Grace had at Turning Point late last year, I thought was one of the better matches on the show. And I feel like having Dani Luna win this match and maybe have Jordynne Grace win the Knockouts Championship would mean we get a pretty decent rematch out of this where they can build a good feud around it. And also we get a longer match between those two, which should be really good. But I feel like also Giselle Shaw could be a contender for winning Ultimate X as well, because she's been building a lot of momentum recently. She's one of, or at least seems to be one of the women that TNA rely on quite a bit, and which is very understandable. She's majorly improved over the last few years in TNA. But yeah, for me, I've got Dani Luna to hopefully set up a feud with Jordynne Grace, which is kind of revealing what I'm going for there. But just to set up a really good match between those two and a decent feud. And yeah, the Ultimate X is one of TNA's, long-term, not reliable, but just like marquee matches that they've always gone for. No one does a match like it, so it's a match I'm very much looking forward to, especially with the women getting a second go at it as well. So hopefully it'll be a more common thing for women and men to go for Ultimate X. So first up we have PCO taking on Dirty Dango. For me, I have PCO to get the win here. I feel like this is just going to be just a quite simple babyface win for PCO here. I know he's a massive fan favourite and probably not being pushed higher up the card again very soon. But with him recently re-signing with the company, and yeah, I just when the match was announced, I've straight away thought PCO to get the win here. Without much explanation, really, I just feel like PCO is going to get the win, and I've felt like that since the feud began, really, is that PCO was going to get the overall win and kind of build momentum maybe towards going into a world title scene in the near future. So yeah, for me, very quick explanation, but PCO to get the win here. Following that, we have the tag team fatal four-way match. It is Mike Bailey and Trent Seven versus the Rascals versus the Grizzled Young Vets versus the champions ABC, who are obviously defending. For me, I have ABC to retain here. I feel like they're one of the tag teams that's going to lead TNA into the future. I would have gone for the Grizzled Young Vets, but I don't think they've signed fully with TNA, and I don't think they're going to put the titles on a team that isn't fully signed. I did think possibly they'd give the titles to Bailey and Trent Seven, just because Trent Seven is a new signing, but I don't know, I feel like as much as I would love to see them as tag team champions, as I feel like they are a great team, it does feel kind of like they're going to be the team that kind of splits up eventually and goes into a feud. Therefore, just with the rebranding and everything, I feel like they're going to want to keep a tag team together who are going to represent the tag division, and ABC are perfect for that in my opinion, as they are probably the best tag team on their division at the minute. And yeah, for me, I would have gone with Trent and Bailey, but I'm going to stick with ABC to retain the World Tag Team Championships. Following that, we have Josh Alexander taking on Alex Hammerstone. For me, I'm going to go with Josh Alexander basically because I don't really know anything about Alex Hammerstone. I know that he was an MLW guy. I've heard very good things about him. I'm looking forward to seeing him for the first time on this show. But I feel like Josh Alexander is going to eat a defeat against Will Ospreay during the Snake Eyes tapings. So for me, I've got him to take a win here, so then he doesn't lose too much momentum going into the tapings for TV when he takes on Will Ospreay, and will probably lose, but he might win, I don't know. But I can see well, Ospreay just haven't been undefeated until he joins AEW properly. But yeah, I think it's going to be a good match from what I've heard. I said about Alex Hammerstone, he's very, very good, and obviously we know Josh Alexander is also very, very good. So it's a match I'm curious about just because I don't know anything about Alex Hammerstone. Therefore, naturally, I'd just pick Josh Alexander because I know him a lot better, pretty much. I know it's not much of a reason, but that's the one I'm giving, unfortunately. Following that, we have Chris Sabin defending the X Division Championship against Vikingo and Kushida. For me, I'm going to go with Kushida to get the win here. I don't know, it's kind of one of the harder matches to predict. I feel like it's either going to be Sabin or Kushida. I can't see them giving the title to Vikingo just because of his connections with AAA. But I don't know, for me, I kind of see it as, because Kushida's a new signing, I know that he has done stuff with Impact over the past few years since getting released from WWE, but he's not been as a TNA superstar or wrestler or whatever. But I feel like now he's properly signed, they might give him a bit of a push. Obviously, he was in the world title match where Steve Macklin won the vacant title, so yeah, we know that they're not afraid to push him, but I feel like he would make the X Division very, very good. Not to say that Sabin isn't. Sabin is a legend in the X Division division. But yeah, for me, I've got Kushida to get the win here just because it's kind of a new signing, and I feel like with them rebranding to TNA, they might have a lot of title changes on this show. So therefore, I'm going to go with a title change here and have Kushida become the new X Division champion. Following that, we have the who is going to show up during the show. For me, I've been trying to think about who this is going to be, and I've all this time been thinking about it's going to be someone from NXT. Not because we heard a lot about TNA and WWE's merger coming together, and we thought that was going to be a big announcement for WWE, but it's due to 3 words that are on the image they're using for this, which is worlds will collide. Now, if it was going to be an AEW guy or someone from somewhere else, they probably would have used the term Forbidden Door, because that's kind of what they're known, like AEW's thing is to say that the Forbidden Door will be opened and whatever. The fact they've worded it as Worlds Collide, which is obviously a well-known NXT event, makes me feel like it's going to be an NXT guy that shows up. And with Charlie Dempsey going out to All Japan very recently in wrestling over there, I feel like the person who's going to show up will be William Regal. I know that he's got this contract thing about how he's like not supposed to show up on TV for a year. I just have this feeling that that's now expired and he can now start showing back up on TV again. And this is going to be the first time we see him in over a year, when he shows up at Hard to Kill and announces maybe a merger with WWE, or just says that some people from NXT are going to be part of TNA for a bit, or vice versa. I don't know, but I don't know. I feel like it's going to be an NXT guy. I feel like it's not going to be a wrestler, just because there's no match. It's not like, oh, this person will have a match against an unknown opponent. I feel like because they've announced it as a segment instead of a match, it will be a suit, if you will. And for me, I'm going to go with William Regal, maybe joined by Charlie Dempsey, but yeah, I'm gonna put my neck on the line. I'm gonna go with an NXT guy, and it's gonna be William Regal, possibly announcing a merger with TNA and WWE. Following that, we have Jordynne Grace taking on Trinity for the Knockouts Championship. This prediction for me is probably one of the easiest of the night for me. I have Jordynne Grace to become the new Knockouts Champion, basically because it is very, very heavily rumoured that Naomi is going back to WWE, or Trinity is going back to WWE, and her contract is up after Hard to Kill. And yeah, she's, as I said, very heavily rumoured for the Royal Rumble. Therefore, she has to drop the title here. If she doesn't drop the title here, I will be shocked. I wonder what TNA is up to. Oh, shit. But yeah, no, for me, Jordynne Grace to get the win here. Obviously, I suggested it before, and I think her and Dani Luna are going to rip it up at No Surrender. But yeah, for me, it just is very, very easy, very simple. Jordan Grace gets the win because Trinity is leaving TNA to rejoin WWE as Naomi. And finally, what I assume will be the main event, we have Alex Shelley defending the TNA World Championship against Moose. For me, I'm going to take Moose to become the new World Champion. This is probably one of the harder, if not the hardest match to predict, as I'm not sure whether they're going to go with a new champion due to the rebranding. For me, I still see Alex Shelley as a tag team guy. I did it with Kofi Kingston when he was WWE champion. He held the title for like 6 months. But I feel like Moose would be a very good representative of the new TNA era. Obviously, he made himself the TNA World Champion back a few years ago. I think it was 2021, 2020 he did it. When he came back with the white TNA World Championship while in Impact. And yeah, I just feel like Moose is though not to say that Alex Shelley isn't a good representative, but if they're going to have someone who is championship material and can do all the wearing of the suits and calls himself a wrestling god and all this sort of stuff, he has that kind of heel confidence that would go well with a rebranding of a world championship and being a world champion. So yeah, like, nothing against Alex Shelley at all, but I feel like going into this new era of TNA, I feel like Moose would be the preferred choice of being the representative for the company. And yeah, I mean, I would prefer Moose as the world champion. I thought that Alex Shelley was going to lose against Josh Alexander, which he didn't, but, you know, is what it is, I guess. But yeah, I've got Moose to become the new world champion here. My predictions for TNA is Hard to Kill, which is on Saturday night. Yeah, any predictions you have, do put in the comments, of course. I'd like you to like and subscribe, all that good stuff. It's a show I'm very much looking forward to. Definitely with this new era of TNA, I've kind of gone with some risky predictions as far as new champions around the board. Obviously, I think the only champions that aren't defending on the night are MK Ultra as the Knockouts Tag Team Champions. But yeah, I think it's going to be a really enjoyable show. Hopefully, like, because it's been rebranded, more people will start watching TNA more. I know I will. I'm not sure if I'll watch it every week, but I'll definitely be covering all the TNA Plus events and pay-per-views. And also, I'll be counting my scores for predictions throughout the year as well, as I will be the NXT, WWE, and AEW. But yeah, if you're enjoying the content, do leave a comment and a like, and any feedback for me as well be much appreciated. Follow the Instagram, _wrestling_retrospective, and I will thank you for watching the video again, and I'll see you guys soon. Again, thank you for watching.